Guys, if you help out and this video gets 250 likes, I will install the Momentum GTs on the Tundra for all the turbo whistles.
Hey guys, John here. Welcome back to another video. So I've added quite a bit of weight to my 2022 Tacoma TRD Pro in the form of rooftop tet, bed rack, deck system, rock sliders, armor all underneath, and we know that this Tacoma does not like all that weight. So in this video, I'm gonna be installing an aFe cold air intake along with their dynamic air scoop for the Toyota Tacoma.
So we'll take a look at the stock setup first. This is what we got going on, and this Tacoma actually came with a TRD air filter, so the throttle response was decent straight from the factory. But what we're working with here, guys, is this is aFe's dynamic air scoop for the Tacoma, and we also have their air filter and their Momentum GT cold air intake. This thing already comes pre-oiled, all the necessary hose clamps that we need. What I really like is everything, as I was setting it all up on this table, everything had like an inspected sticker, so making sure that you have all the parts, everything necessary, and then we have our instruction booklets for both the cold air intake and also for the dynamic air scoop. Man, so I'm liking how these steps are already very straightforward. So we're gonna go ahead and remove our plastic cover, which gives us access to everything here that we're basically taking out to replace with the aFe. So we have our throttle body, everything pretty much this way, but we're gonna disconnect the MAF sensor over here, the wiring harness take off with the plastic clips, and also the crankcase vent hose right there too. So everything here, guys, is in the instructions, so you definitely cannot go wrong. So with our MAF sensor disconnected, the harness all loosened off, this vacuum tube off, we're gonna go ahead and loosen this 10mm right here on this hose clamp off the throttle body, disconnect the top of the intake lid, go ahead and remove the OEM intake. Next, we're gonna take our air filter out, and then down here in the stock intake box, you have 1, 2, and 3 over here 12mm bolts. Go ahead and undo those, take the stock box right out. Now the next step is to take these rubber grommets from your OEM box and transfer them over to the aFe Momentum box. Now the way that I found this the easiest, because these have like little metal washer spacers on the inside, is to get needle nose pliers if you can, to take those metal washers out, have just the rubber, transfer the rubber over into these spots, 1, 2, and 3, and then put that metal spacer down in between the rubber grommets. Now with the 3 grommets installed, we're gonna go ahead and take this fender seal, we're gonna place it right here on the side tube that goes into the fender well, just starting with one side and then just tapping it into place. All right, the next thing that we're gonna transfer over from the stock intake is our MAF sensor. So go ahead, take a Phillips screwdriver, take off the MAF sensor. With the MAF sensor off, go ahead and put it onto the aFe intake. There's only one way it can go. So if you're trying to line it up this way, it's not gonna line it up that way. There's only one way this can go, and it's like that. And then take the Torx screws that came in the kit, go ahead and secure it into place. Next step, we're gonna take the OEM bolts that came out of the Tacoma, and we're gonna go ahead and just set them into the Momentum intake. And with those in place, we will go ahead and put the Momentum GT intake into the Tacoma, lining up the holes with the factory locations that you took them out from. All right, go ahead and then just tighten up those 12mm bolts again. And honestly, this was one of the best lining up cold air intakes that I've installed. So just line them up, put them in, and I was able to cinch them down with a ratchet, nice and tight. All right, so next we're gonna slide the filter into the housing, and it says press until you hear all 6 of the tabs seat. I believe it's talking about these 6 tabs, so there's tabs up on top. So next I did the coupling onto the throttle body with the hose clamp that aFe provides. If you look at this coupling, it has a bigger end and a smaller end. The smaller end will go onto the throttle body. So next we'll take our intake tube, go ahead, set it into the intake first, and then we'll mess with it to get it into the coupling right here. Oh, need my hose clamp. So that was actually surprisingly easy. To gain access to that air filter in the future, I actually don't see it being that big of an issue actually. So at this point you could be done in about 200 miles, they say, to check everything, make sure it's all nice and tight still. You would take this cap, go ahead and put it on the front of this box here, or I guess you could leave it open for more air. However, we're gonna be putting the dynamic air scoop in now. So we're gonna be installing the dynamic air scoop right here. So that means that this radiator plastic has to come out. So all we're gonna do is just take off the clips everywhere. You got clips on the back, you got 4 back there, 3 up here. Once the clips are out, we just have to kind of depress this a little bit here on each side, pop this off, take the plastic out of your truck. Next, we're gonna take this rubber coupling that was provided. You can see the longer side right there. That is the side that we're gonna put against our Momentum GT box. All right, so now we're gonna take our scoop. You see this kind of like little notch right here? Gonna kind of go into the
the radiator core support with it a little bit. See how it goes in right there? Slide it in. And then at the top right here, we're just gonna put those holes over. Mount it into the coupling. We're only putting 3 of the 7 that we took out back. So put it in the center first, line it up a little bit more, and then put the last 2 in. There we go, guys. We have it fully installed. Now it's time to take it on a drive. All right, guys, here we go. A little light acceleration. Then we're gonna floor it. Can hear it rumbling. Floored. 55 miles an hour, very quick. So, spoiler alert, to making this isn't my first impressions. I actually went on a 950-ish mile road trip from Florida to Texas with this intake already installed. And I'll tell you this, there is placebo, right? Because it's more sounds, nice growl out of the engine. But I will tell you the increased throttle response that I get out of this intake is very, very good. Now, it's not the fairest of me telling you that because I didn't do that road trip twice. I didn't do it with the stock intake completely loaded down, same scenario, and then put the aFe on and did the exact same road trip again, right? So that kind of sucks in that sense that I can't give you scientific data. But I got 17 miles per gallon going there, which is pretty good on the highway for the Tacoma, loaded down with a lift kit, bigger tires, rooftop tent, bed rack, deck system, the cargo glide, all this stuff that I have on my Tacoma. I got about 17 miles per gallon going there and 15-ish coming back, which wasn't the best. There was a storm coming through. I'm pretty sure I had a headwind and mud on the tires and everything like that. Not incredible gas mileage, but I do want to say with confidence that if I didn't have this cold air intake from aFe, I feel like the gas mileage would have suffered a little bit. And I know just driving around with how this Tacoma's been, because I've done some road trips with it when I bought it from Virginia and drove it all the way down to Florida. I know that the throttle response is definitely increased. Not like incredible, right? I get it, guys. If you want to throw money at your truck and do a tune and potentially void your warranty and all that stuff, go ahead. But as a bolt-on product, this really opened up the Tacoma quite a bit. Added airflow through it is awesome. Not the craziest increased horsepower and torque, but I do feel it a little bit for the butt dyno to be happy. So we will be adding a Shift Power USA to this to increase the throttle response even more, but I'm happy with the added throttle enhancement that we got to move the Tacoma with the weight that I added to it. It shifts really good. If I put my pedal down on it, it's just happy. I just feel butt dyno wise that it's very happy. And just the filtration system, especially in that Texas dust with this new aFe intake, was very, very good too. So here's all the dirt and mud inside the engine bay from the Toyota Jamboree. So I went ahead and took off the hose clamp, and we're gonna check out to see how good this thing actually filtered through. So the filter's all right here. So we're just gonna pop this off to see how it looks inside the intake. All right, and looking in the tube, I only see a little bit, and I feel like when I pop this up, dirt actually went down. So I should have been recording because there's a ton of dirt like all up around here that when I popped it up, I feel like some dirt got in there. But going to the throttle body right there, I don't see anything, man. So very good, very clear in here, except for like that little bit of dirt just around the side. But I'm happy with that because as you can see, this is all just Texas red, super fine dirt all throughout that. And I don't see nothing in there. The truck is not like hating me at all with all the dust and crap that I got into the truck. So a little light acceleration this time. Happy. That's it with this one, guys. I recommend this system if you guys want a little bit more oomph out of your Tacoma without going all the way to a tune or anything crazy like that or any other bolt-on stuff. So again, guys, if you want to see this on the Tundra, you get more performance out of a turbocharged engine, and we'll get some turbo noises and all that stuff too with my Tundra. But if you guys want to see that, go ahead and like the video, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, see you later.